give y'all the ending. But God, she got her son back.
Right.
She got her love back. And she got her money back. Can we get an amen? You got that part, but I told you I was going to tell.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So,
Trying to make it
I just
right.
want to say I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. And that word last night, girl, when I tell you I felt it, I woke up this morning and I spoke to my cousin was talking about that. And that was like 8 o'clock this morning. I was still full. I was going. And when Katrin asked me to speak, I was like, what am I to speak on? She said, girl, from the beginning to the end, you got a journey. I said, I do, but what part of this journey am I going to share with you ladies today? And only thing, you know, last night you said something about a song and how we react to songs. And the song that kept going in my head for the last 3 to 4 weeks is How Did You Get Here by Deborah Cox.
Right.
Yes.
Okay? And although her song was about some dude, I'm going to change it up and say, how did I get here? How did I get right here where I'm at talking to you guys today? And so I look at my journey and I said, well, I can't start from the beginning because I got a little bit of time because my journey is long and it ain't finished. One person that I listen to on a regular basis is Lisa Nichols. And Lisa Nichols says her grandmother told her, when you old, you're supposed to sit on the porch and tell your stories. But when you're our age, we're supposed to make those stories worth listening to.
Mm.
And I'm going to share my story.
Come on, Grace. Come on.
How did I get here? Okay, I'm gonna say this first. At the age of 19, I was told I couldn't have kids. I had an ectopic pregnancy that burst. I had to remove my fallopian tube, an ovary, and half of the fallopian tube on the other side. I woke up in the hospital. The doctor told me, okay, what day is it? I didn't know. It was 2 weeks later. I was in a coma for 2 weeks.
Mm.
But the first thing he said after he checked everything was, there's 99% chance you can't have kids. Right here, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a mother of 3 children that I pushed out by myself. Okay? And my journey begins, I'm gonna start my journey right there. A year later, it wasn't even years later, it was a year later, I got a phone call because I had to keep going in to check my, I guess, my estrogen, because I wasn't producing as much, so therefore, I got a call. They said, we might need you to come in and check and see if the baby's in your tubes. I said, this doctor crazy, you know? They told me I couldn't have kids. I ain't had no counseling. I ain't have nothing. I dealt with that loss. I felt like I was less than a woman, but I dealt with it. So, needless to say, I didn't never go back to the crazy doctor to tell me to check and see if the baby was in my tubes, because evidently he was crazy. Until I was sitting back watching some, I forgot what sport it was, but I thought the person who cooked the food must not have cooked it right, because I started feeling something moving in my stomach. And I was like, oh, I ain't gonna say nothing, but that chili ain't doing too good. Sat there a few more minutes, I got another kick. This time I caught it, and it was a footprint in my stomach. I didn't believe what the man told me to see if the baby was there or not. And evidently it was in the right place, because I saw the footprint. So with that being said, that was my first child. 2 years later, I had a dream I was gonna have a daughter. I had my daughter. 2.5 years later, I had my son. Me being a parent, I wanted to give my children something I never had. And we all go through that, right? When you have children, you want to give them something you may never had. And my never had nothing to do with material things. My never had was both parents in the household. Now, I'm not going to say my parents wasn't there. They was in the household, but I'm going to tell you like this. My mother's from New York, and my father was from North Carolina. And one thing I know, when my mother felt like it wasn't going right, she packed us up, and we got on a Peter Pan bus. Okay, I don't know how old any of y'all are up in here, but Peter Pan was way before Greyhound.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
We got on that Peter Pan bus, and every time we got on that bus, my mom said, God take care of babies and fools.
And food. Yes.
Okay? Babies and fools. So we would get on that bus and go right back to New York, and then my father would call, because he was slick. He was sly. My father was fine. So he would whisper sweet things in my mama's ear, and my mama get back on that Peter Pan bus with her 3 kids. God takes care of babies and fools. She was the biggest fool because she kept going back. Every time there was any type of problems, my mother would get on that bus. And my grandma would welcome her back. Come on home. This is home. This is home. So basically, my grandparents decided enough is enough. Y'all gonna stop moving these kids. These kids done went to 6 schools in 2 years. They don't even know one set of friends. They just going back and forth. So my grandparents in New York decided we're gonna take them kids and we're gonna keep them in one place to give them stability. That stability helped me be who I am today, okay? But one thing I didn't learn was how to stay. So when I started having kids and my children's father moved me to Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. So when we had problems, guess what I did?
Got on that bus.
I got on that Greyhound bus. There you go. I got on that Greyhound bus and I told my kids, God takes care of who?
Babies and food.
All right now. So I did the same thing. My grandmother's home was open for me to keep coming back to. Until one time, I didn't have that home to go back to. My grandmother and my grandfather both passed away. So now, I gotta do something I ain't never done before. When he got on that nerve, I had to stay. And that's how my rock bottom started, because I didn't know how to stay. I knew I wanted 2 parents in the household for my kids, but I didn't know what it took to have those 2 parents in that household. He thought of 3 parents in the household because evidently he had to go step out and find somebody else. I was not enough, which is okay because guess what? The choices I made, he wasn't a husband. He was my children's father. Okay? There's a difference. So I couldn't be mad at him because that was a choice, just like I chose to stay. So when I found this out, I'm from New York in the Jacksonville, Florida area, and if y'all don't know nothing about New York, females be a little feisty. And then back then, I thought that everything was supposed to be my way or no way at all. So what I did was, I confronted the 2. Now, I knew this female because at the time, she was dating my brother. Okay? So yeah, my story's a little crazy. So was I. I took matters in my own hands, trying to make what I wanted to provide my children. I was trying to force it. I was forcing it. One thing you can't do is make a man do what you want him to do. That's right. So, with that being said, Jacksonville, Florida Police Department thought that was the wrong thing to do. You can't force a man to do what you want him to do. So after an altercation of all 3 parties, me, him, and her, the police came. And of course, when the police came, I wasn't that rowdy female from New York. I was that sorry mama trying to get her babies together. Not knowing that all the ruckus that I caused led me for the police to come. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. So when I got to that house, I don't know what made me do the things that I did. I knocked on that girl's door. And when she opened that door, when I tell y'all, I jumped over my kids' heads that was lined up at that door, and I was going for blood, because she's ruining what I had planned for my children. It was like taking my kids' food off their table. That's what it felt like. As she ran into the bathroom with the phone to call those 3 digits, y'all know those numbers. Everybody know those numbers, 911. He wanted to be her savior, and he attacked me. Again, I'm from New York. You don't attack a New Yorker, especially when they are enraged. So I felt like I was defending myself. He got injured. But when the police came, I asked them not to put handcuffs on me in front of my children. I said, please, I don't need my kids to see me this way. So they said, okay, as you be calm, you good. I was like, okay, officer. Okay, officer. So I was calm in the back seat of that police car. Then I asked the police officer, what happens to my babies when y'all take me downtown? Because right now I'm thinking like a New Yorker. I'm gonna go down there, and there's something that they call release on your own recognizance. So I thought that I was, just gonna go there, fill out their paperwork, and be released on my own recognizance. Still don't even know what that means, but that's what New Yorkers do. They get released on their own recognizance.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So I went to go get my release. But before I got down there, I said, so what happens to those babies? What happened to my babies? When I go get released. She said, well, if the father don't take them, they go to CPS. So now mind you, the day before this incident took place was my son's birthday, and my kid's father was sitting there talking sweet nothings in my ear, telling me how he wants his family back. So I'm saying, in that police car, he wants his family back. He gonna take his babies. They his. So he came out, act like he all injured and stuff, bleeding. And so the officer said, would you be able to take your children while we take her downtown? He looked at me in that police car, he looked at those kids, and he told that officer no. Now is the time that I had told the police officer, you might need to put those handcuffs on me because I'm about to go down for murder. All of this other stuff ain't needed. Let me go ahead, let me get at him. Police officer hitting the car. And I'm sitting up there saying, all of this for nothing. Was it worth it? How did I get here? How did I get here? Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, when I got down to that police department, I'm sitting up there still scared, but I'm still thinking I'm gonna be released on my own recognizance. Again, whatever that means. I was on the chain gang. I don't know what y'all think of a chain gang is, but my chain gang was, I was connected to 3 girls in front of me and 3 girls behind me, and we had matching bracelets, we had matching ankle bracelets, and we had a nice little chain to connect all of us. I noticed the people in front of me, they went up to the, correctional officer behind his window, and And they put that little paper that they had, I guess it's our charge paper, I don't know. They put that in that slot, and that lady stamped a word that was in blue. It said misdemeanor. So the next one went up there, and I'm following behind, put that stamp, blue. So now I'm in there, I'm like,
Yeah.
My stamp came out red. I said, I believe you've made a mistake. He said, no. It looks like, yeah, you got 5 counts of felony. 5 felonies. From just me reacting one time. Never been in jail before in my life. Now it's starting to get real. Because I don't know about no release on your own recognizance with 5 felonies. They didn't tell me that in New York. I'm going to just let y'all know that right now. So I sat down, and now I'm sitting there rocking because I'm scared. New York attitude ain't going to help me now.
Not at all.
Okay? So when I got the paperwork on how much my bail is, I'm like, okay, now here's where the release on your own recognizance come on. This is about where it's coming in now. They said my bail was $50,000, and anybody know anything about bail, that's 10%, right? So in my mind, I'm sitting there like, $5,000, I can call my cousins. I'm about to get out of here. The lady said, no, that $50,000, that is your 10%. I said, well, who did I stand? Was it the president? What the? Well, I'm sorry, ladies. That's what I was about to say. So, scared to death. Meanwhile, my kids, they didn't go to CPS. See, one thing I didn't tell y'all, remember I told you the girl was my brother's girlfriend. I had my brother there. My brother came and got my kids. You know, I call my brother can't get right because he can't get right. But that time, he got right. He was able to get right then. My brother said he called family members. Family members we ain't spoke to in 20 years. Okay? He called one uncle. And my uncle, God bless him, I love my uncles. He asked my brother, how's Gina? And how's Casey? He said, well, Casey. Well, Uncle Terrence, this is what I was trying to call you about. See, Casey got herself in a little trouble, and we need $50,000. And I told you my father's from the South, so it's his brothers and sisters. My Uncle Terrence said, hey, now, boy, ain't nobody got no money like that. Now, we gonna call somebody out of the blue, ain't speaking to you in 20 years, gonna sit there and ask for $50,000. When I tell you, and I can't even be mad, because again, we haven't spoke to this uncle in over 20 years since we left the last time in New York. My family put up cars, houses, and everything to get me out. And I started to think, did they really love me like this, or did they just not want to take care of them babies? I put it off on both. So I got out. And the day that I got out, I didn't call my brother to let him know that I got out. I went home, and I had a long-awaited conversation with the person that I needed to have that conversation with. I sat in the bathtub and I prayed. And I prayed and I prayed and I asked God to just guide me, guide my steps, because I have no direction right now. I wanted to give something to my children that I never had, which was 2 parents in the household. But instead of giving them something I never had, I need to give them something that I'm walking with. And that's with God. I said, God, if you get me out of this mess, everything from this point on, I will follow suit. I will follow you, Lord. Just help me. I lost my job. I lost my man. I lost me in the process. So a whole month I had to act like a criminal. I had to see a probation officer. I had to urinate in front of strangers to make sure that I'm not on drugs. I was literally treated like a criminal. And that was only 30 days. So could you imagine everyone who has been in that for over 30 days? Just imagine. I was violated. Okay? So the day came where I had to go to court. When I tell y'all, I went to that courtroom and I was just waiting. I was waiting. My fate was in that judge's hands. And that judge said, off the record, I probably would have did the same thing. On the record, he said, Ms. Campbell, you need to go back to your family. You need to go back to your beginning. A humble beginning, a hard start. But I went back. By ways of stopping in North Carolina to spend some time with my father. And I gained more comfort with God because my family in the South is very, very religious and they make sure they pray for all of us. I got that religion base and I went right back to New York. Everything started working out to the best. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pass this up to 2012 where I cultivated my village with family and friends, okay? And my biggest fan was my mom. 2012, we got a call from a doctor here in Virginia telling us that your mom is not doing good. She had a heart attack previously, and that heart attack caused her to have congestive heart failure. I dropped everything. I had a very good job in New York. And I'm telling you, I got hired even though I got arrested and had all of that on my record. Very good job. I dropped everything and moved to Virginia. And I'm gonna tell y'all how God works. Me and my sister, we dropped everything. When I say everything, we packed up what we could in a small little U-Haul truck and moved to Virginia. And we moved from a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom hallway of an apartment in New York City to a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house on the beach. No job here in Virginia. We had no idea how we was gonna pay for that. But God works in mysterious ways. I got a job. My sister got a job. We took care of our mother. April 14, 2014, we got a call. My mother passed away in the hospital. And that was pretty much, I felt like I lost everything, okay? But I had my brother and my sister there. Because only thing we could remember is she gonna be okay because God takes care of who?
Babies and fools.
And we was her babies. And God is gonna take care of her because she was his biggest fool. We didn't even get to mourn that much that year because come a week before Thanksgiving, my best friend, my everything, my sister was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. We didn't even get to mourn over our mother because now we have to fight this battle. How did I get here? God. When I say God, God. My sister lost her battle in 2016, and I felt broken. I felt I lost everything. Then the answer came, my purpose. Throughout all of that, I was in school, guys. I was in school. I was obtaining my bachelor's degree in psychology. Through the death of my mom, through the death of my sister, I was in school. And I graduated cum laude. A 3.75. I was hard on that 25. I wanted that 4.0, but God gave me 3.75. I'll take it.
We're not supposed to be crying.
When that came, I realized my purpose was every bit of my journey was to be right here. I went through all of that. And I know you guys probably have similar stories. What I got from last night was confirmation. Don't judge me on my fall.
That's right. That's right.
Okay? Because I don't live there no more.
That's right. Yes.
You want to know it?
Yes.
I don't live there anymore.
Yes.
And I can tell my story better than anybody else can. So anybody want to walk out of here, y'all make sure y'all tell it good.
Yes.
Because I did it good. I got a story to tell when I sit on my porch talking to my grandkids from children I wasn't supposed to have.
Hey.
Okay? I'm here today because that journey humbled me. When I say a hard start, that was my hard start. That was my rock bottom. Now we all fall short of the glory. You know, and when we fall short of that glory, there is always a safety net. But when you hit that rock bottom makes you turn your whole life around. And that was my rock bottom. I made that promise to God that I ain't no man worth me fighting for.
That's
okay?
right.
And I'm not going to force anybody to be with me that don't want to be with me.
That's right.
Through that journey, all three of those kids, not one of them gave me not one problem. Not one problem. My oldest son graduated from Norfolk State University. This year, December, my daughter graduates from ODU with 2 degrees. And my son, my youngest child, God bless him. You know that child, y'all will agree, God bless him. He is an amazing child. Communication-wise, yeah, no. But he's an amazing child, but he as well is in ODU University. All 3 of my children is in college, not one in the streets.
That's right.
And I owe that all to God above, because this journey that they saw me go, this journey that they was with me throughout the whole way, they could have seen it and been done something totally different. But they walk in this journey with me. And the journey's not over, guys. The journey is not over. So right now, I'm going to reintroduce myself because I'm here, y'all. I'm no longer a victim. I'm victorious.
Yes.
My story is your story, okay? I stand before you today as God's biggest fool. And my babies is his baby. I am a psychologist. I am a counselor. I am a servant of God. I'm a teacher of the people.
Yes.
I am a great daughter of the late Crystal Campbell and the great Johnny Lee Campbell. Catherine Campbell, I'm a queen with a divine purpose to inspire, motivate, and transform anybody. Because if I can do it, so can you.
That's right.
I'm here, y'all, and I ain't going nowhere.
Hey.
This journey is not over, okay? And I tell y'all, the journey has just begun. This is just another chapter, and I thank every last one of you here today because you guys are in my chapter as well. Thank you.